Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be looking at the horrific case of Dr. Kermit Gosnell. He ran a late-term abortion clinic in Pennsylvania. This case is a few years old. This is not about abortion. This is about lack of oversight, horrific crimes, and habits. It's a lot to unpack here. Brace yourself. Kermit Gosnell was born February 9, 1941, in Philadelphia, the only child of a gas station operator and a government clerk in an African-American family. He was a student at the city's Central High School, from which he graduated in 1959. Gosnell graduated from Dixon College in Carlisle, PA, with a bachelor's degree. Gosnell received his medical degree at Jefferson Medical School in 1966. It has been reported that he spent 4 decades practicing medicine among the poor, including opening a Mantua halfway house, a rehab clinic for drug addicts in impoverished Mantua neighborhood of West Philadelphia, near where he grew up, and a teen aid program. He became an early proponent of abortion rights in the 1960s, 70s, and in 1972, he returned from a stint in New York City to open up an abortion clinic on Lancaster Avenue in Mantua. In that same year, he also performed 15 televised second trimester abortions using an experimental supercoil method invented by Harvey Karman. The coils were inserted into the uterus, where they caused irritation, leading to the expulsion of the fetus. However, complications from the procedure were reported by 9 of the 3 women, the 3 women of these reporting severe complications. In an article with the Philadelphia Inquirer, Gosnell gave in 1972, he says, "I personally would never agree to an abortion performed on any woman bearing my child. As a physician, I am very concerned about the sanctuary of life, but it is for this precise reason that I provide abortions for women who want and need them." At the time of Gosnell, a 1966 graduate of Jefferson Medical College, said he was doing about 500 abortions a year. That is less than half of the number and procedures he does annually at the time of his arrest, according to state records. Gosnell has been married 3 times. His third and current wife, Pearl, had worked at the Women's Medical Society as a full-time medical assistant from 1982 until their marriage in 1990. They have 2 children. The younger, being a minor, is being cared for by friends. Gosnell has 4 other children with his 2 previous marriages, and covering his background, media commentators drew attention to the incredibly diverse portrayals of Gosnell, touching on both his community works, the creation of drugs, halfway house, and teen aid program, contrast with his practice as an abortion mill, in which viable fetuses and babies were routinely killed following illegal late-term procedures. So before we jump into these charges and some of this grand jury report, I just wanted to say that this video is not about abortion. It's not about my opinions on abortion. It is about abuse of power and lack of oversight. It's about appalling patterns, horrid habits, and preying on young women. Some of these women were his employees. Some of these employees were minors. There's so many things wrong with this case, but the abortion itself is not the focal point of this video. Before you comment crazy or anything like that, this is just about specifically what happened in this case. So on February 18th, 2010, The DEA, the FBI, and the Philadelphia Police Department raided 3801 Lancaster Avenue in Philadelphia. They were investigating drug trafficking and illegally administered pain medication, to which they had come by an undercover informant that had given them this information. Upon arrival, the premises was dirty and unsanitary. During the drug traffic investigation, District Attorney learned from one of the clinic employees that a woman had died in November of 2009 following an abortion procedure. The detective also discovered other disturbing details of Gosnell's medical practice. Gosnell routinely relied on unlicensed, untrained staff to treat his patients, some of these minors, and to conduct medical tests and administer medication without supervision. Even more alarming, Gosnell instructed unlicensed workers to sedate patients with dangerous drugs in his absence. Very put off by the lady dying in 2009, detective, upon further investigation of the woman's death, found no police report. He went to the Philadelphia Medical Examiner office to try to identify the woman and to find out about her death. The detective learned that the dead woman, Karamaya Mongar, and her toxicology report revealed an extremely high level of Demerol, a drug used to sedate his patients. Not only sedate his patients, give them so much of this medication to where it knocks them out. Upon further investigation, they had discovered that nobody had inspected these facilities in 15 years. The search team waited outside until Gosnell finally arrived at the clinic. At about 8:30 p.m., when the team members entered the clinic, they were appalled, describing it to the grand jury as filthy, deplorable, disgusting, very unsanitary, very outdated, horrendous, and by far the worst that these experienced investigators had ever encountered. There was blood on the floor, a stench of urine filled the air, a flea-infested cat wandering through the facility, and there were cat feces on the stairs. Semi-conscious women scheduled for abortions were moaning in waiting room or the delivery room, where they sat on dirty recliners covered with blood-stained blankets. Every patient there the night of the raid had been sedated by an unlicensed staff member long before Gosnell arrived at the clinic. Sometimes he wouldn't even arrive till 8 o'clock at night. Many of the medications in inventory were way past their expiration dates. Investigators found the clinic was grossly unsuitable as a surgical facility. The 2 surgical procedure rooms were filthy and unsanitary. So I find it so strange that it was a legal prescription drug sale that brought this man down. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how a healthcare facility that primarily deals with impoverished people could go 15 years with no inspection. I mean, 46 known lawsuits were filed against him over 32 years before he was arrested. He would put in a 20-minute video, have a potential employee watch it, and then call them trained. This Karamara Mayanga, she had a family. Her daughter sit and waited in the waiting room for hours and hours and hours. She went to go locate her mom in this 3-story massive abortion clinic. Instead of calling the police, what did he do? He hid evidence, threw away pill bottles, instructed his staff on what to do and what not to say, just for no police report to even be filed. And some people will say, well, these women, they knew what they were doing. They went to an abortion clinic. Abortion's ugly. You know, you just can't stomach it, but it's legal. what he did was not legal. In further investigation, this exactly to the point of what he did was drug the mother so bad it knocked her out completely, induce the labor, extract the baby from the mother's body, and kill the child after it was out of the mother's body. That is murder. He was convicted of 3 murders like this and second-degree murder of Katamaya Mayangar. I hope I'm not butchering that name. There were 45 remains found not properly disposed. Some of the local other doctors filed complaints on him because some of their patients were coming to them with STDs after leaving Gosnell's office. In the Mother's Day abortion in 1972, one of his patients that he used the supercoil method on, she had to have a hysterectomy. She could never have kids again. What about the rights of the women he's caring after? He had all the rights in the world allowed to practice doing what he catapulted the abortion rights movement in the 70s. He was afforded those rights, but he did not afford the safety or the care of these young mothers. He preyed upon them, even his own employees. This man destroyed and affected thousands and thousands of lives in one way or another. He had body parts of some of these fetuses in jars. And I will say this too, this trial got hardly any of the coverage that it deserved. I understand protecting women's rights is important. But what about the life and the life quality of these women's that he's forever changed? My biggest takeaway from this is the lack of oversight. Hair salons have more inspections yearly than this doctor who ran this clinic had. Some people say he was the most prolific serial killer we've ever had. Some people say that he's innocent and abortion is ugly, and those are just the facts. Bieber says anybody with 2 eyes can see that this man should have been thrown under the bus 32 years ago. Thank God this monster is behind bars. It does make me think, how many other monsters are like him? How many other abortion clinics don't have oversight? How many young women are being preyed upon? How many people are getting their illegal drugs from your local abortion clinic? How many people are not talking about it because nobody wants to bring it up? It's too touchy. It's too taboo. Well, it's too much of a damn shame that it went on for so long. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everybody have a great day. So real quick, I didn't want to redo and edit. I will link my resources in the description box. And there were so many elements of this that I on purpose left out. A lot of the details were just too much for my brain to handle, much less me say them out loud and put them on my channel. But you can absolutely look up any of the resources yourself. It is, it's just horrific. Thanks for watching.